So I kind of wanted to go over this. I just finished all I'm probably going to do to this for now. Still working on the mini stereo system and subwoofers. For now, this is how it's going to be. Everything is pretty much the same as last time. I have a second headrest now. It's not actually, it doesn't have a screen in it. I just made the casing, and I'm currently printing the posts, the headrest posts. But the only other thing that I've done is I've added a secondary camera. So the whole idea was to hide it in something that looked like it made sense. So I modeled a little, like a handheld camera housing, and you know, just so this looks basically like it's a Nikon camera. And I did that before I had actually decided on putting it on this contraption up here. I was just going to put it right here on the dash, but I didn't have really enough room in front of the roll cage for the lens to stick out. So I ended up switching it, and I modeled, it's like a pulley system. So all I had on hand was some bearings, my 3D printer, and I had some like string. So the reason I wanted a second camera is this camera in Bane's head, while it's really tiny, it's really short range. It's not very like high quality long range. So I needed another camera that could get me a little bit more distance, and so that's where that other camera comes in. It should be much longer range, so the next time I go out, I'm going to be doing a range test on both of these cameras. Hopefully it gets me quite a bit more distance than this does. Also, the camera in Bane's head is such a wide field of view, so I suspect when I'm driving first person, I'm not going to be able to see much. The window's just going to look like it's kind of far away. So I wanted to see if I could rig a system to move a camera up very close to the window and provide me a little bit more context. So when I wasn't using that, I wanted to be able to move it back here, and also that gives me like a different perspective to record from. So I can record, like, you know, the driver driving around and his head moving and stuff. So those are all the kind of reasons that led me down this path. And that's also why it's in this little handheld camera housing, because originally I was just I wanted to hide it. I didn't want it to just look like a bunch of cameras in here. So the way this works is I'm using the NSDRC RS40 winch servo, and I created this little model here, and it fits a little wheel and bearing, slides over this little nub here. That's this, and then the servo slides into the wheel, and so when I turn the servo on, it spins the wheel. And then I have a couple rubber O-rings wrapped around the wheel, and those provide friction against this little string here. And so when it spins, it rotates this this string. And then on the front, it just has a wheel and a bearing right here, and then it's just kind of attached to this little mount that clamps around the roll cage. And so if I spin the winch one way, the camera runs along the rail up here. If I get that to focus, if I spin it the other way, it goes towards the back. Let's see if I can get a good shot of this. So camera itself is mounted to the bar with a notch in the top, and then I took a couple bearings, and I sized the notch to the bearing so that it's actually just sitting on that rail, and when the string moves and it's clamped, it's pinched down here with this plate, but when it moves, the bearings you know, help to reduce the friction in the camera. And hopefully I can get that thing to move forward and backward consistently so that I can you know, look out the window when I need to, and also run it to the back, and you know, so if I want a cool perspective to record the crawler in. Okay, so here is the camera functionality. So when I move the button to one position, it moves back, and then I just stop it by moving the button into the neutral position, and then I move it to the third position to move it to the front. So that works pretty good. So that's pretty much the extent of what I've done so far. I'm currently trying to hide these wires a little bit. That's where I'm at. I have 2 headrests now. This one does not have a screen yet. Working on that, but it's once I get the screen in here and then tidy up the wiring, this is pretty much done. The only other thing that I would do is probably see if I could get that system to work, the little 2-inch subwoofers. So I also wanted to kind of look at this screen again. The action cam, it does not record very well up close. Let me see if I can get this to focus. There we go. And then here's a little bit of a closer view of the stick shifts, and then I have the angle meter here in the dash. So only one more thing left to do, and that's see if I could install that subwoofer. All right, so this is the subwoofer enclosure, and I've added a little top here, so it's clear, and I think that turned out really nice. I have the ports in the side, so I'll be hooking those up. I just have to find an amplifier that can run these guys. It is heavy though. Things are coming together. For now, I'm just going to leave these out till I can figure out the rest of my system, and we're gonna go with this interior, dual cameras, and we're gonna take this out and run it and see how it works.